All right, back here on the hilltop, let's take a look now at the starters for tonight's game. First for Madison Southern, as we said, 4-1 on the year, coached by Steve Wright. At a guard, number 0, Kason Nobby. Nobby's a 5'8 junior, averaging 13.5 points per game. The other guard is Braden Hudson, one of the Hudson brothers. I think that was a TV show at one time. He wears the number 3. He's a 6-foot senior and is averaging 14.2 points a contest. At one of the forwards is Braden's twin brother, Zach Hudson. Zach Hudson, a 6'1 senior, wears the number 4 and is having a solid year, averaging 16.5 points a game. The other forward is Avery Davidson. Davidson wears the number 33. He likewise is a 6'1 senior, averaging 4.2 points a game. And in the middle, a 6'3 senior, number 1, Jay Rose. Rose, the star of the show at Madison Southern, averaging 26.8 points per game and also averaging 5.8 rebounds per game to lead his team as well. So once again for the Eagles, it'll be Nobby, Braden Hudson, Zach Hudson, Davidson, and Rose. As a team, Madison Southern averaging a very strong 82.5 points per game. On defense, giving up 69.5 points a contest. Now for the Harrison County Thoroughbreds, 2-4 on the year coming into the game, riding that 4-game losing streak, coached by Terrence Brooks. At a guard, a 5'9 senior, number 3, Mason Smiley. Smiley averaging 12.8 points per game. Another guard is Elijah Harris. Harris, the 5'9 senior, he wears the number 13, and he's averaging 14.5 points a contest. At one of the forwards is Garrett Wilson. Wilson, the 6'1 senior, who wears the number 20. He's averaging 10.5 points a game. The other forward is a 6'3 senior, Braxton Grubb. Grubb wears the number 25 and is averaging 6.3 points a game. And in the middle, a 6'6 senior, number 40, Justin Craycraft. Craycraft averaging 6.5 points per game. So once again for the Breds, it'll be Smiley, Harris, Wilson, Grubb, and Craycraft. Harrison County offensively averaging 64.7 points per game, but on defense giving up 67.5 points a game. So there are your starting quintets for tonight's game between Harrison County and Madison Southern. Well, we'll take another break, come back and take a look at how these two teams have done when they've met each other on the basketball floor. We'll also take a look ahead at the other winter sports right after this timeout. You're listening to the Cynthia Hardy's pregame show on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County and Madison Southern in boys basketball meeting for just the 4th time. Right now, Madison Southern has won 2 of the previous 3. The first time they got together was back in February of 2005. Played right here on the Monticello Heights Gymnasium floor in the Harrison County Classic, a game that Harrison County won 76-68. They would not meet again until 4 years later in January of 2009 when they got together at the West Jessamine Colt Classic. That time, Madison Southern got the better part of the Breds, winning 68-64. And the most recent time we've gotten together was in January of 2021 here on the Hilltop. It was not a fun night for Breds fans as Madison Southern won that game 78-47. So just a very short history between these two schools. As far as the other, well, we'll talk about first the upcoming schedule for the Thoroughbreds. On Tuesday, Bourbon County, our arch rivals, will be coming to town. So make plans now to come and support your Thoroughbreds. I'd say there will be a lot of Bourbon County people over here as well. On Friday, the Breds will finish up their pre-Christmas schedule when they'll head to Dry Ridge to take on the Braves of Grant County. Meanwhile, the Phillies, who last night lost here at home to Paris, they'll be in action again in their final game before the Christmas break on Tuesday, when they'll make a trip to Vanceburg to take on the Lady Lions of Lewis County. So best of luck to the Phillies in their endeavor to go into the Christmas break with a win if they can beat Lewis County. And our wrestling team, they've been busy today. Both the boys and the girls are participating in a tournament down at Taylor County, down at Campbellsville. Now, the last time that these two teams will, talking about the boys and girls wrestling teams, last time they'll take on each other on Wednesday, the boys will participate in the Bourbon County Duels. And then on Thursday, the girls will finish up their pre-Christmas schedule as they'll head down to Nicholasville to take on East Jessamine. So the wrestling team very successful and very busy at the same time. Well, it doesn't look like we'll have the colors tonight, so what we'll do right now is take a listen to the national anthem, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the tip-off of tonight's game between Harrison County and Madison Southern. But right now, I think we're going to have the national anthem. Nope, no national anthem, so scratch that. Harrison County, as we said, 2-4. Madison Southern 4-1 on the season. And while we have this opportunity, I want to remind you that at El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. I probably will end up there myself after church tomorrow, as that is our go-to, at least here recently. And why not? The food's good, especially the quesadillas, which is what I recommend. Very small crowd here for tonight's game. As you might imagine, with the Cats on the air at the Champions Classic, taking on 9th-ranked North Carolina. I'd say hopefully people are watching that on television while turning us up on the radio so they can keep track of both games. But also, we're just over a week until Christmas time, and here on this Saturday night, I would imagine that a lot of people are out making some final Christmas purchases before the holiday season gets into full form. Of course, we'll still have some more basketball to be played before the Christmas break, including tonight's game. All right, now the starting fives of both teams have been introduced, and we'll get started pretty soon here. Coach Wright sends his people out to center court, while Coach Brooks has a final word for his team as well. Jumping center for Madison Southern will be Jay Rose. On the opposite side of the midcourt stripe will be Justin Craycraft for Harrison County, as we're about to get this game underway from here on the hilltop. Officials ask if everybody's ready for play. They say they are. So everything's good. The tap is up and will be controlled by Southern. Madison Southern's Nobby will be the point guard. Nobby will be picked up on the man-to-man by Harris as he crosses the timeline. Drifts to the right side, looks to the left. Now goes to the top of the key. Uses a pick to get into the paint. Backs up. Gets the ball to the top to Davidson. Davidson thought about the three, but then throws it over to the far sideline to Nobby. Nobby will fire a three-pointer. He hits high off of the flange and then hits the support wire. So give the ball to the Thoroughbreds. Grubb inbounds the ball to Harris. Harris walks the ball up the floor. Tempo is going to be a big part of this game. If Harrison County can slow the Eagles down, we'll have a chance. If we try to make it a track meet, I like our chances less. Up top with the basketball, Craycraft to the left side finds Smiley. Smiley in the corner to Harris. Harris head fake, goes into the paint. Ball fake, goes up with a 10-footer that's going to drop in there good. So Elijah Harris gives Harrison County the early 2-0 lead. We played just over a minute. Into the front court, racing to the basket, and laying it in is Jay Rose, as Rose ties the game at 2. See how Rose fits into the offense. He's averaging nearly 27 points per game. With the basketball in the front court is Grubb. Braxton to the top of the key to Craycraft. Craycraft backs up for a three-pointer. Good! First Canuplaw three-pointer for the Thoroughbreds comes off of the hand of Justin Craycraft. And Harrison County back up once again by 3 at 5-2. 6.5 left to go in the first quarter. Into the front court comes Nobby. Gets it over to the right side now to Brandon Hudson, who gives it to twin brother Zach Hudson. Hudson now to Nobby. In the corner, Davidson will try a three. It's no good. Rebound being batted around. Finally picked up and put back in by Jason Nobby. Nobby's first points of the game. Gets the Breds lead down to 5-4 with 6:10 left to go in the first quarter. Now a whistle away from the basketball, and we're going to have a foul on Craycraft for running through a screen. Literally running through the screen. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm is there. Get a new home or auto quote with Joe by calling 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breds and Phillies. Into the front court comes Nobby. Gets it in front of the nearly empty stable to Braden Hudson. Now in the corner, Davidson has the ball. Back up top to Braden Hudson for the NBA three try. This one bounces off short, and waiting in there for the rebound is Harris, and here come the Breds. In the front court, Harris goes coast to coast. His shot off the glass is good. Nice drive that time by Elijah, and Harrison County up by 3. Here's a long three, fired up and good by Zach Hudson. First tray of the game for the visitors from down in Berea. And the score is tied at 7-7. 5:26 left to go in the first quarter. Into the front court comes Smiley. Smiley on the baseline to Garrett Wilson. Wilson, a reverse layup is going to be short, and Davidson comes down with the rebound. And up the floor, here come the Eagles in a rush. Nobby misses the easy one, but Rose is there to pick up the garbage and put it back in the basket to give Madison Southern their first lead of the ball game at 9-7. Up the floor with the basketball comes Harris. Crosses the timeline, drifts to the near side, long range, now gets it into the hands of Wilson. Back up top to Harris, to the left side of the midcourt circle to Smiley, left side Wilson. Wilson drives into the paint, cut off by Davidson, looking for help. Wrap around pass to Grubb. Grubb will be called for the charge as he knocks down Zach Hudson. First foul of the game for Harrison County. So give the ball back to the Eagles. Leading 9-7, they've scored 5 in a row. With the basketball across timeline on the far sideline comes Nobby. Nobby goes into the paint, gets it to the near side for a Rose three-point try. That's good. Rose with 7 first quarter points, and the Eagles are up 12-7. 4:26 left to go in the first quarter. Crossing the timeline is Harris. Gets it on the right side to Smiley in front of the Madison Southern bench. Smiley tries a give and go to Justin Craycraft, but the pass is a bit low. So on the turnover, give the ball back to Madison Southern. Into the ball game, checking in for the first time for Harrison will be Jaden Boyers. Boyers, a 6'5 junior, averaging 2.8 points per game. Eagles with the basketball. Coming up the floor with it will be Nobby. Nope, take that back at Zach Hudson. Zach Hudson over on the far hash mark. Now goes baseline, gets it back up top to Davidson. Now to the left side to Rose in front of his own bench, or in front of the Harrison County bench. Rose tries a pass, it's knocked away and stolen by Harris. Harris, 2-on-1 break, stops, pops, off the glass and good. Nice drive that time by Elijah. Harrison County goes back to within 3 at 12-9. Now racing to the basket on the baseline and laying it in will be Zach Hudson. Hudson's second bucket of the game puts his team back up by 5. 14-9. Elijah Harris inside the center circle. Takes a look to his left, but Smiley being guarded closely by Braden Hudson. So Harris just yo-yoing the ball right now inside the center circle. Drifts to the right side, long range. Now makes a move to the top of the key, to the foul line. Kicks it back up top to Grubb. Braxton on a bounce pass to Wilson. Wilson in the paint, lost the ball. Loose ball picked up by Southern's Rose. He goes and tries a dunk, but misses it. There for the rebound, though, is Braden Hudson. He'll get it into the hands of Nobby, who puts it back up and in. And now a timeout will be called by Harrison County. Just a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here. But with 3:03 left to go in the first quarter, Harrison County finds itself down right now by a score of 16-9 as the Southern Eagles show why they like to run up and down, because they do it very well. Well, do you have a big group to feed? The Beast Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627 right now. That's 235.
Snap.
Still not a very good snap. That's something you can work on during the Christmas break. There you go. All righty, out of the timeout. Harrison County will have the basketball, trailing 16-9 presently. The Eagles are on a 12-2 run after falling behind early 7-4. Harris calls out the play as he crosses the timeline. Drifts to the right side. Now backs it back out again as he throws the ball to the left. Wilson with it now. Goes to the foul line. Lobs it down low, but it's a little too tall. That makes 4 turnovers already for the Thoroughbreds. First sub of the game coming in for Southern, Mason Davis. Mason Davis, a 6'1 junior, averaging 4.2 points per game. He'll come in for Davidson. Walking the ball up the court will be Nobby. Nobby crosses the timeline on the far side of the midcourt circle. Makes a move into the paint to the basket. Layup is going to be good, and he's fouled. And Kason Nobby will have a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play as he puts his team up 18-9 and trying to make it even larger with 2:36 left to go in the first quarter. Nobby on the season is a 67% free throw shooter. Coming the game for Harrison County for the first time, Damon LaRue. LaRue, a 6-foot senior, averaging 2.2 points per game. Nobby with 6 points already. Nearly half his season's average. His free throws on the way and good as he completes the old-fashioned three-point play to make the score 19-9 in favor of the Eagles. Harris with the basketball, goes across the timeline, the middle of the floor, drifts to the right side, gets the ball this time to Smiley. Smiley back up top to Wilson. Wilson tries a pass underneath the grub. Once again, it's a little too hot to handle. It's been there twice, and we haven't executed it. 5 turnovers now for the Thoroughbreds, just 1 for Madison Southern. That's the primary reason that Southern leads by 10 with 2:16 left to go in the first. In the front court, Zach Hudson has it. He'll get it in between the circles to Braden Hudson. Now to the right side to Davis. Davis to Nobby. Nobby goes baseline, kicks it back out beyond three-point range to Rose. Rose goes into the paint. His floater is no good, and the ball will be knocked out of bounds. They're going to say Harrison County last touched it. So the Eagles will maintain possession. Nobby underneath the basket finds Zach Hudson, who flashes to the basket and scores the points. 21-9. The Eagles lead now as we go under 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Harris to the left side, gets the ball to Smiley. Smiley, top of the key to Grubb. Grubb to the right side, long range to LaRue. LaRue to the left side, finds Wilson in the corner of this. Here's a three by Smiley that's no good. And bringing down the rebound will be Davis. Quickly, Rose goes the other way and softly lays it in for Jay Rose. That's now 9 points as the lead grows to 23-9 for the Eagles of Madison Southern. With the basketball in the front court on the left side, long range is LaRue. LaRue in between the circles, gets the ball to Wilson near the center circle. Garrett to the right side to Smiley. Smiley has the ball back tapped away from behind. Loose ball picked up by Nobby. He goes all the way the other way and lays it up and in. He's got 9. And Harrison County about to get blown out of the gym as they're behind 25-9 with under a minute to go in this first quarter. Harrison County has watched Madison Southern score the last 13 in a row. With the basketball up top, Grubb. He'll fire a three. No good off to the right. And Rose comes down with another rebound, his second. Outlet pass to Nobby. Nobby lays it in as the destruction continues. 27-9 the score. In the front court with the basketball is Harris. Races in the paint, dumps it off to Grubb. Forces up a shot, no good. Rebound's going to be pulled down by Davis. And here we head the other way with it. Nobby looks at the clock, sees there's 24 seconds left, just yo-yoing the ball from one hand to another. Now Wilson will come up on him a little bit. Nobby in the paint, a floater from 10 is no good. Rebound, though, is going to be pulled down by Zach Hudson. Here's a pass down low. It's going to be off of Braden Hudson out of bounds. So give the ball back to Harrison County. Only the second turnover for Madison Southern here in the first quarter. 8 seconds left to go. Harris with the basketball, comes across the timeline with 5. Now sets up the offense with 3. Now fires an NBA 3, no good. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, your score, Madison Southern 27, Harrison County 9. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCY. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. Harrison County allows Madison Southern to score the last 15 points in the first quarter to take a 27-9 lead into the second quarter. Altogether, over the last 5 minutes of that first quarter, Harrison County was outscored 23-2. Harrison County will have the ball to begin the second quarter. Hopefully things will go better. Harris across the timeline. Pass to the right side to LaRue. Damon trying to get around the defenders for Madison Southern, but they switch very quickly. Wilson, a dribble, a backdoor cut to Harris. Harris double teamed on the block, goes up for a shot. It's no good, but he's fouled. And Harris will go to the line, trying to stop this 15-point run. Foul's going to be called on Nobby. That'll be Kason Nobby's first. Harris at the line for the first time tonight. He has 6 of Harrison County's 9 points on the year. Harris, a 67% free throw shooter. His first free throw is good. Maybe that'll get things turned around a bit. Harrison County still down, though, 27-10. 7:45 left to go in the second quarter. Second free throw is no good, but Grubb goes and gets the offensive rebound. He'll pitch it down low to Wilson, who puts it up and in. Garrett Wilson's first points of the night makes it 27-12. Harrison County back to within 15. Up the floor with the basketball comes Nobby. Goes around or tries to get around Smiley. Now he's double teamed. Gets it to the right side to Zach Hudson for 3. Good. Zach Hudson dials long distance for the second time in the ball game and puts his team back up by 18, 30-12. With the basketball with under a minute gone in the second quarter is Wilson to the right side to LaRue in front of the Madison Southern bench. LaRue back up top in between the circles to Grubb. Now to Smiley, long range. He'll get it on the wing to the far side to Wilson. Wilson looks inside, nothing there. Now gets it between the circles to Grubb to the right side to LaRue. LaRue goes to the top of the key, stops, gets it to Harris in between the circles. Now to the left side to Wilson, long range. Wilson takes his dribble into the paint, kicks it back out top to Smiley for 3. No good off the flange, but skying for the rebound is Elijah Harris. He'll try to get it back up, no good. Rebound pulled down this time by Rose, and up the floor come the Eagles. Rose with the basketball. No-look pass is knocked away, but Zach Hudson is there in the right place at the right time to pick up the ball and put it in the basket. 32-12 now your score. Racing the other way, Harris puts it up and good. Elijah with 9 points. He's about our only offense in this game so far. 32-14, though. Harrison County still trails. In the front court, Nobby with the basketball. Spins in the paint, puts up a 10-footer good. 13 points for Nobby. He's already matched his season's average as the Eagles go back up by 20, 34-14. Across the timeline with the basketball comes Harris to the right side to Smiley. Smiley dumps the ball down on the block to Wilson. His shot around Rose is good. 4 points now for Garrett Wilson. Makes it a 34-16 score. Harrison County starting to try to run. Here's a long 3 by Hudson again. This one is in and out, no good. And skying for the rebound is Grubb. Breds will walk the ball down the floor this time. So we hit the 5.5-minute mark of the second quarter. LaRue on the right side. In the corner finds Wilson, or make that, with Wilson. Back to Grubb. In between the circles. Braxton takes a look to his left, takes a look to his right. Now passes to the right to LaRue. LaRue goes in between the circles. Lobs the ball down on the baseline to Smiley, who goes to the basket. His shot's no good, but he's going to be fouled. That foul is on Michael Whitaker. Whitaker, a 5'8 junior, averaging 1.8 points per game. Smiley to the line for the first time tonight. Struggling this year from the charity stripe, making only 38% of his free tries. At the 5:06 mark of the first half, first free throw by number 3 is going to bounce off. Got a couple of subs coming in for Southern. Avery Davidson returns, as does Braden Hudson. Second free throw upcoming for Smiley. Harrison County down 34-16. We had a couple of ties in the lead change early. Second free throw will be good for Mason. Harrison County back to within 17 at 34-17. Into the front court with the basketball will come Davidson. Davidson hands the ball between the circles to Davis. Davis over on the right side to Braden Hudson for a long 3, a little too long, in fact, as Elijah Harris will go and get the rebound. Harris will walk the ball up the floor. Across the timeline, gets the ball to the near side, long range to LaRue. LaRue to Braxton Grubb on the baseline. Braxton puts up a shot, good over Davis. Grubb's first points of the game. Harrison County back within 15 at 34-19. 4:28 left to go in the first half. Across the timeline with the basketball comes Braden Hudson. Gets it to Rose at the far hash mark in front of the stable. Rose goes baseline, stops and pops. His shot short. Rebound pulled down by LaRue. And here come the Breds. LaRue gets the ball. No look pass to Wilson, who then throws the ball away. So give the ball back to Madison Southern. They've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Mike Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit efarmcredit.com. Nobby and Zach Hudson will return to the floor now for Madison Southern as their original starting five is back out there. Nobby, who has 13 points, will cross the timeline in the middle of the floor. His team leading by 15. They've led by as many as 20. From the left corner, a three by Zach Hudson is off the flange, no good. And Smiley goes and gets the rebound. He'll get the ball into the front court, in the paint, to the block, to the glass, lays up good. That's what you got to do, drive that ball in there, and that's exactly what Mason did. That'll prompt a timeout by the Eagles. We'll take it as well. 3:43 left to go in the first half. Your score, oh, just a 30. Sorry about that, Mike. Just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. But Harrison County on a little bit of a roll as they have drawn back to within a baker's dozen at 34-21 with 3:43 left to go in the first half. Cynthia and Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's Hardee's in Cynthiana. Harrison County has ripped off the last 7 points in a row to get back to within this 13-point deficit. Horn sounds. Remember, Tuesday, Bourbon County comes to town. Make plans now to attend. Out of the timeout, Madison Southern with the basketball. It'll be Nobby who will bring it across the timeline and into the front court. Moves to the top of the key, now to the right side, long range. Backs up near the hash on the far side. Now makes a rush on the baseline. Dumps it off to Zach Hudson. Zach Hudson gets around his defenders and lays it up and in. 14 first half points for Zach Hudson as the lead for the Eagles goes back to 15 at 36-21. In the front court, Wilson left side, up top to Grubb. Braxton looks to his left, passes to his right to Harris, who will fire a three-point try just off the mark. And Rose will come down with the rebound for his Eagles. In the front court, Zach Hudson, a cross-court pass to Nobby. Nobby in the paint finds Rose, puts up a shot good, and he's fouled. And Jay Rose will be going to the line to try for the old-fashioned three-point play as he gets his team back to a 38-21 lead. 3:01 left to go. Rose's first trip to the line tonight, as we said in the pregame show, he's a fantastic free throw shooter, hitting 88%. Free throw up, and as you might expect, perfect. He has a dozen points now. Came in averaging 27, but he has put his team back up by 18, 39-21. Under 3 to go in the first half. Smiley finds Wilson, double teamed on the block, drops the ball, but Harris goes and gets the loose ball. Elijah goes into the paint, puts up a shot, blocked by Rose, but they're going to call Rose for the foul. That'll be Jay Rose's first personal and send Harris to the line where he is 1 for 2. Elijah leading his team with 9 points here in the first half. Clock stopped at 2:45. First free throw is on the way and good. Makes it 39-22. So we said 2:45 left. Second free throw for Harris is on the way, and this one is good as well. As Mason Davis will check back in for Madison Southern. 39-23 your score. Inbounds pass will come to Nobby. Nobby jogs up the floor and into the front court on the far side of the midcourt circle. Now passes to the near side, long range to Zach Hudson. Now between the circles to Davis, back to the left side to Brayton Hudson. Fakes a three, goes baseline. Gets a pass out top to Davidson for a three-point try. No good. Rebound, though, pulled down by Zach Hudson. He'll put it back up and in. Zach Hudson with 16 points And it's a 41-23 lead for the Eagles with 2:17 left to go in the first half. Harris with the basketball in the front court up top to Grubb. Finds LaRue. LaRue to the left side. Here's a three by Smiley. Bounces off and hits the support wire. So give the ball back to Madison Southern. If you're fed up, call Canup. Canup Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you're in. Visit them at canuplaw.com. Here's a steal by Smiley. Smiley 1-on-2 to the basket. He's going to be fouled from behind and will go to the line for two. With 1:58 left in the first half, the foul is going to be whistled against Braden Hudson. It'll be his first. So Smiley back to the line where he just was a minute ago. In that particular sequence, made 1 out of 2 free tosses. Takes a deep breath as he eyes the bucket. Free throw by number 3 is on the way and good. Yeah, narrows the gap a little bit, but little by little, try to get back in this thing. Second free throw for the senior Smiley is on the way and good as well. Makes the score 41-25. She said 1:54 left to go in the first half. Across the timeline comes Nobby. Gets it to Braden Hudson for a three-point try. No good. Rebound is batted around, and finally going over there to get the ball will be Braxton Grubb. In the front court, going to the basket is Smiley. His shot high off of the glass is good. Nice drive that time. 41-27 is your score with 1.5 left to go in the first half. Here's a pass down low, and getting the ball and laying it up and in is Nobby. His 15th point makes the score 43-27. Minute 18 left here in the first half. With the basketball in the front court, Harris. Up top to Grubb. Thought about the three, turned it down. Now gets it to LaRue on the near side, long range. In front of the Eagle bench, Wilson has it. Now back to LaRue. LaRue in the paint. Pass it to the near side to Wilson, who will put up a three-point try. Short. And the rebound is pulled in by Davidson. Up the floor come the Eagles. Davidson tries a pass. It's knocked away. Loose ball picked up by Zach Hudson. He tries to go back up with it, but he's going to be fouled by Wilson. That will be Garrett's first personal. Going to the line will be Zach Hudson. His first trip there tonight. On the year, Zach Hudson is a 79% free throw shooter. Remember, as a team, this Madison Southern group had an 84%. First free throw by Zach Hudson is good. As coming back into the game will be Jay Rose, who is out for a second. 44-27 now your score. 51 seconds on the clock. Second free throw is no good. There's your news item. And Wilson comes down with the rebound. Down by some 17 points, Harrison County with the basketball in between the circles. Harris to LaRue to Wilson. In the corner finds Smiley. Smiley trying to get away from the traffic. Now almost had the ball taken away from him. Goes into the paint. A floater from 10 is good. That's the way to make something out of nothing. Harrison County, back. Well, didn't get back far enough as Nobby makes a shot. Nobby with 17 makes the score 46-29 with 14 seconds left. Now a steal by the Southern, and going in and laying it up and in was Hudson. That was Zach Hudson, I should say. Here at the last second, a three put up is no good, and that will bring us to the end of the first half of play with your score. Madison Southern 48, Harrison County 29. We invite you to join us now for our halftime show, brought to you by Joe Cochran out at State Farm. We'll go over all the scoring and individual numbers and team numbers as well right after this timeout. But right now, it's all Madison Southern as they lead as we go to the locker rooms by a score of 48-29. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCY. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. Madison Southern has come to the hilltop, and right now they own a 48-29 lead. They led 27-9 at the end of the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, outscored the Thoroughbreds 21-20, but still have that 19-point lead. The main reason for this lead for Madison Southern, they went on a 23-2 run over the last 5 minutes of the first quarter, and Harrison County still trying to recover. Take a look at the individual scoring. First for Southern, they already have 3 players in double figures, led by Zach Hudson's 19. 17 points for Kason Nobby, and a dozen points for Jay Rose. They were the only 3 players that scored. Also playing but not scoring, Braden Hudson, Avery Davidson, Michael Whitaker, and Mason Davis. For Harrison County, Elijah Harris leads the way with 11. Mason Smiley contributed 9, all in the second quarter. 4 points for Garrett Wilson, 3 on a tray by Justin Craycraft, and 2 points were contributed by Braxton Grubb. Also playing but not scoring were Damon LaRue and Jaden Boyers. Those are your individual numbers. We'll take a break, come back, and take a look at the team stats right after this. You're listening to the Halftime Show, brought to you by Joe Cochran out at State Farm on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, let's take a look at the team stats. Harrison County shot pretty well. 11 out of 21 for 52.4%. They were just 1 of 8 from beyond the perimeter. Meanwhile, Southern, who came in here to this game, as we knew, a hot shooting team, well, they shot hot tonight. 21 of 35, that's 60%. But maybe even more important, they took 14 more shots than did the Thoroughbreds. From beyond the arc, Madison Southern was 3 for 11. From the free throw line, Harrison County 6 of 8, 75%, while Southern was also 75% on 3 out of 4. Turnovers, not as big a problem as it has been in the recent past, but still we had 8 turnovers in the first half compared to just 4 for Madison Southern. And the rebounding battle, as you might imagine, was won by Madison Southern, 12-9. 3 offensive and 12 defense. I make that 3 offensive and 9 defensive boards for Madison Southern. They were paced in that department by Jay Rose's 4. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, 2 offensive and 7 defensive rebounds for our 9. We were led by Elijah Harris and Braxton Grubb, who each had 3 boards apiece. So there's the way the stats stack up, and maybe not real indicative of why there's a 19-point lead for Madison Southern, but be that as it may, a 48-29 score is what we have here at the half. Well, the Thoroughbreds have returned to the floor for their halftime warm-ups. We're still awaiting the re-arrival. Well, here they come of Madison Southern. So we'll take a break, after which we'll come back with the third quarter handoff right after this timeout. You've been listening to the Halftime Show, brought to you by State Farm and Joe Cochran on WCYN Sports. Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County's got a rather large mountain to climb as they trail by 19 against a good Madison Southern team. Stockyards Bank and Trust has competitive home equity loans and home equity lines of credit for you. Ask a lender to learn more. That's Stockyards Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Madison Southern will have the ball to begin things here in the third quarter. Jay Rose, their superstar, 12 points in the first half. As we said, he has never this year scored fewer than 24. With the ball on the right side, Nobby lobs it down low. It's knocked away, and the loose ball is going to be picked up by Harrison County. Only the 5th turnover of the night on Southern. Across timeline comes Harris, who gets the ball to Wilson. Now back between the circles to Harris once again. Harris takes a look at the defense that Madison Southern is throwing at us and rotates over to the right side in front of the stable. Goes to the top of the key, fires a three-point try, off to the left, no good. Rebound on the floor, dropped out of bounds by Southern. So Harrison County will maintain possession. At El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. Smiley from his own baseline lobs the ball down on the block to Wilson. His turnaround jumper is no good, but they're going to call a foul on Nobby. That'll be Kason Nobby's second personal foul, the first player in the ballgame for either team to pick up multiple fouls. Wilson going to the line for the first time tonight on the year. Garrett, a 57% free throw shooter. His first free throw is off the mark. Gosh, got to make our free throws. Breds now 6 for 9 from the line, which ain't that bad. As a team, we're shooting 68% on the year. Second free throw is good by Garrett. Harrison County draws back to within 18 at 48-30 here in the opening part of the third quarter. Shot put up no good by Southern. Grubb gets the rebound. He'll give the ball to Wilson, who will get into the front court. Wilson on the left side hands the ball to Smiley long range. Smiley back to the near side to Wilson in front of his own bench. Garrett to the top of the key to Craycraft. Now to the right side, long range to Harris. I tell you what, Madison Southern ain't going to let us breathe from out beyond the arc. Harris back over in front of the stable to Smiley. Dumps the ball down low, knocked away. And the loose ball picked up by Braden Hudson. Hudson hands it off to Davidson. Davidson to Rose, misses the layup. But on the rebound, I think we're going to have a foul called on Harrison County as Rose hits the ground hard. Foul's going to be called on Craycraft. That'll be Justin's second. Actually, his third, excuse me. Coach Brooks going to keep him in there for right now. From his own baseline, Nobby to trigger the inbounds pass. Nobby looking, lobs it up top to Davidson. Davidson drives to the block. His shot's going to be blocked, but they're going to call another foul on Craycraft, and that's going to be 4. And now Coach Brooks has no other alternative but to get our big man out of there. Going to the line for a couple of free throws will be Davidson. This will be Davidson's first free throw attempt of the night on the year. He is 2 for 2. Looking for his first points of the night. Came in averaging 4, so doesn't score that often anyway. First free throw is going to be off the flange, no good. For Harrison County, Damon LaRue checks back in the ball game. They've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Mike Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit efarmcredit.com. Davidson's second free throw is on the way, and it is also no good. And once again, it's Braxton Grubb who grabs the rebound, and now they're going to have a whistle, and a foul is going to be called on Braden Hudson. That'll be Braden Hudson's second. So Harrison County down by 18, as there's only been 1 point scored by the two teams combined in the first minute and a half of this third quarter. Here's a pass from LaRue down low to Wilson. His reverse layup is way off the mark, and Davidson has the rebound. Here come the Eagles into the front court. In the corner, open for a three is Braden Hudson. It's going to be short. Rose, though, gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. Jay Rose with 14. He also has 5 rebounds and puts his team back up by 20, matching their biggest lead of the ball game. From the left elbow in the front court, Wilson, short arms, a shot. Nobby gets the rebound. In the front court, gets the ball to Rose, who puts it up and in. And they're making it look easy again on transition. We're just not getting back quick enough. 52-30. With the ball in the front court, Smiley. Pass to the left side, finds Harris long range. Harris now gets in between the circles to Grubb. Grubb picks up his dribble. in some trouble. Hands the ball to Smiley near the far hash mark. Smiley drives into the paint. His floater is good. 11 points now for Smiley. Makes the score 52-32 with 5:33 left to go in the third quarter. Out top of the basketball in the front court is Nobby. He'll step inside the center circle. Now goes into the paint, to the block, to the glass. His layup is going to spin out, no good. A little too much English there, and Smiley gets the rebound for the Thoroughbreds. LaRue up top to Smiley, lobs the ball to the left elbow to Grubb. Now to the left side, long range to Harris. Harris puts up a three-point try, no good off the flange, but the long rebound will be captured by LaRue. LaRue down low to Grubb. Grubb knocks the man down, no call, that's okay. As Braxton goes in there and lays it up and in. Makes it 52-34. Southern still with that big lead. In the front court, going to the basket is Zach Hudson. His shot's no good. Rose is there, though. His putback is good, and he is fouled. And now he's going to have a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. Boy, he's a good shooter. Fouls on LaRue. That's his first. Rose back to the line where he's 1 for 1 after converting a old-fashioned three the old-fashioned way not that long ago. Free throw up and free throw good by Rose. He now has a very quiet 19. Makes it 55-34. 4:40 left to go in the third quarter. LaRue up top to Grubb. Grubb looking for help. Finds Smiley to the left side now to Wilson. Wilson steps inside the arc now in between the circles. He'll find Smiley once again. Smiley directing some traffic. Passes to the near side to LaRue. Now to Wilson in front of the Harrison County bench. Now back up top to Grubb. All this happening 20 feet from the basket. Body's hitting the floor underneath. Grubb gets the ball on the left side to Smiley. Dumps it off on the block to Wilson. Wilson double team. Fans it back out beyond the perimeter to Harris. Harris goes into the paint. Puts one up. No good. Rebound brought down by Grubb. Braxton goes back up with it and puts it up and in. Nice job that time by Braxton on the offensive glass. And now we're going to have a timeout called by Harrison County. We will take it as well. 3:59 left in the third. Your score, Madison Southern 55, Harrison County 36. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WC. All right, back here on the hilltop, Harrison County trails by 19 with 3:59 left to go in the third. Well, you have a big group to feed. The best pizza is great, or the Beast Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627 right now. That's 235.
Snap.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Very much better. All righty, Nobby with the basketball across the timeline. Gets to the far sideline to Zach Hudson. Now in the corner to Rose. Rose goes baseline, and as he does, he's going to be fouled. Rose had a quick first step. Foul's going to be on Braxton Grubb, his second. From his own baseline, Nobby will trigger the inbounds pass. Looking is Nobby. Lobs it up top to Zach Hudson for the NBA three. In there. Another big tray for Zach Hudson. He has 3 on the night now. Makes the score 58-36. 3:36 left to go in the third quarter. Grubb up top. Looks to the right as he's picked up his dribble. Now looks to his left. Trying to get away from the defensive pressure of Davis. Finds LaRue in front of his own bench. DeMond, he'll put up a three-point try. Off to the right. Wilson wades in to get the rebound and puts it back up and in. Nice job that time by Garrett on the offensive glass. As Harrison County will now watch Braden Hudson get a basket on the other end. as they score and score quickly. Now Harrison County on transition. In the corner, a three for Smiley is no good. Rebound pulled down by Wilson, who has the ball taken away from him for a turnover. Into the front court with the basketball come the Eagles. A Rose leaner is no good, but he gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in. We are terrible on the defensive glass tonight. 21 points now for Rose. Harrison County trails 62-38. In the front court with the basketball goes Smiley. His shot partially blocked. Rose with the rebound. Baseball pass in the front court on the baseline to Brandon Hudson. His shot's no good. And Smiley will get the rebound. In the front court, LaRue nearly traveled. Up top finds Wilson. Wilson back on the near side to LaRue. LaRue goes to the foul line for a jump shot. Bounces in. That ball thought about coming out, but at the very last second decides to come back in. 62-40. Here's a pass into the corner to Rose. Rose back on the block to Nobby, who lays it up and in as no one defensively came over to help out. Makes the score 64-40 as we cross the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. Wilson to Smiley, directing traffic near the center circle. Now back to Wilson, now to LaRue in front of the Harrison bench. He'll fire another three try. This one's an air ball. Rebound on the floor is picked up by Madison Southern's Davis, who's back in the game. Here's a three fired up and good by Nobby. Nobby with 22, 67-40 now your score. Walking the ball into the front court is Smiley to the left side to LaRue. LaRue at the foul line, tries a pass. It's going to be kicked by Davis. Checking in, a couple of subs for Harrison County. Jay Sean Lewis, a 5'11 junior who has yet to score this year. Also Jack Midden coming in. He's a 5'7 sophomore who has not yet scored this season. Meanwhile, for Madison Southern, Michael Whitaker back into the game. He saw some action in the first half. From his own baseline, Midden trying to get the ball in bounds. He does to Grubb. Grubb in between the circles to Wilson. Wilson at the top of the key, now goes to the left elbow, pulls up for a jumper that's no good. Jay Sean Lewis's tap back is no good. And the ensuing rebound is going to be pulled down by Davis. And I think we're going to have a foul call on Harrison County. Beyond Braxton Grubb, that'll be his third. Now we'll shoot some free throws. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm is there. Get a new home or auto quote with Joe by calling 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breds and the Phillies. At the line is Davis, his first trip there tonight on the year. He is 3 for 4. Looking for his first points of the night as well. At the 1:13 mark, the first free throw is good. Increases the lead for the Eagles to 68-40. They've been in control since scoring 15 straight points at the end of the first quarter. Second free throw for Davis is going to rim out. And on the rebound, it's going to be knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. So Harrison County will get the ball back, trailing 68-40. Smiley back in for the Breds. Cynthiana Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. With the basketball, Smiley into the front court to Midden. Now on the left side, long range to Lewis. Lewis picks up his dribble, gets to the foul line to Wilson. Wilson in the paint in the corner finds Midden for a three-point try. No good. And the rebound is ripped down by Davidson. Here come the Eagles on a run. Here's a reverse layup that's going to be passed into the corner to Zach Hudson, who lays it up or puts it in from three-point range. Another three makes it 71-40. Here's a three, good by Wilson. Knuplau three-pointer makes it 71-43. 28 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Shot put up by Davidson, no good. Gets his own rebound, however. Now a three by Braden Hudson is no good. And with the rebound now is Michael Whitaker. Ball passed up top to Whitaker, to the right side to Braden Hudson with 8 seconds left to go in the quarter. Braden Hudson goes to the basket, puts up a layup, no good. Rebound is pulled in by Jack Midden. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter of play with your score. The score. Madison Southern 71, Harrison County 43. You're listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCY. Alrighty, back here on the hilltop. The visiting Madison Southern Eagles wrap up the third quarter on a 16-7 run to take a 71-43 advantage into the fourth quarter. Inbounds pass will come to Harris. Harris crosses the timeline in the middle of the floor. Gets over to the right side to Smiley, long range. And now a whistle away from the basketball and an illegal screen set by Braxton Grubb. There'll be 4 fouls on Grubb. Cynthiana Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. With the basketball in the front court comes Nobby. Gets it on the right side to Rose. Rose in front of his own bench, has 21 points. Drives to the baseline, but we're going to have a foul first of all. Oh, it's an illegal screen set by Avery Davidson. So give Harrison County the ball back as Justin Craycraft returns to the floor. 7:40 on the clock. Harrison County down by 28. I'm not sure we got enough time to come back to stop what would be, if we were to go ahead and lose, a 5-game losing streak. Smiley with the basketball over on the far sideline, moves to the top of the key, finds Harris. Harris to Lewis on the left side. Jay Sean goes to the foul line. Now a skip pass to the far side to Midden. Midden lobs the ball up top. This time to Smiley, who goes to the basket. His shot might have been partially blocked. Craycraft with the rebound. His putback is no good, but he's fouled. So Justin attacking the offensive glass very well. Fouls on Davidson, his second. Craycraft to the line for the first time tonight on the year, a 50% free throw shooter. He has 3 points tonight. First free throw is going to bounce off, no good. Second free throw upcoming for the senior is on its way, and this one is going to rattle in for his 4th point. Still makes it 71-44. Here's a fall-away jumper, good by Nobby. 24 points for Kason Nobby. It's a 73-44 advantage for the Eagles. So we go under 7 minutes left to go. Racing to the basket, Lewis misses the layup. Lewis gets his own rebound, goes back up, misses again, and the ensuing rebound is going to be picked up by Davis. Into the front court, Davis with the basketball, pitches it out front. It's going to be knocked away, and the loose ball picked up by Harrison County, going to the basket, but missing the shot will be Lewis, but I think he was fouled, and we'll go to the line for 2. Well, Eagle is down, but getting back up again. Oh, no, they're going to call a foul on Lewis. Nope, wrong side. Michael Whitaker picks up, that was the 5 on the other side. So Elijah Harris going to the line. Elijah 3 for 4. All 11 of his points coming back in the first half. First free throw is good. Wilson returns. Makes the score 73-45 with 6:34 on the clock. Second free throw for Elijah is very short, no good. Justin Craycraft gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. Nice job once again by Craycraft. However, his team still trails 73 to 47, 6:22 left to go. In the paint with the basketball is Nobby. His follow-away jumper is good. 26 points for Nobby. Makes it 75 to 47. This is how they're averaging 82.5 points a game. They just never let up. 6 minutes left to go. Wilson from the right elbow. Jump shot is going to be good. And now we got a whistle and a foul down low on Mason Davis. That'll be his first. But that basket makes the score 75 to 49 with exactly 6 minutes on the clock. Harrison County will have the ball after that foul on Davis. Smiley looking to get the ball in bounds. He does in the corner to Midden. Midden gets it back up top to Craycraft, who almost lost it. But he goes and retrieves it, and now almost loses it again, but Harris is there to pick it up. Elijah thought about the Ultra NBA 3, but wisely turned it down to Smiley in the paint to Craycraft on the baseline to Midden. His floater from 10 is good. First varsity points for Jack Midden. Harrison County back to within 24 at 75 to 51. With the basketball now in the paint is Zach Adams, who's in the game. Zach Adams, a 5'9 sophomore, averaging 2.5 points a game, but he travels. So give the ball back to the Thoroughbreds. If you're fed up, call Canup. And right now we're pretty darn fed up. Canup Law promises to treat you with care, respect, and dignity in whatever legal situation you're in. Visit them at canuplaw.com. Across the timeline comes Harris. Drifts over in front of the Harrison County bench. Now goes to the top of the key. Trying to get around the defense of Whitaker. Gets it up top to Wilson. Wilson back to the left side to Harris. Harris, they're looking inside to Craycraft, but he's being wrapped up right now by Landon Adams, who's in the game, a 6-foot sophomore. Smiley lobs ball over the head of Wilson and out of bounds for a turnover. Our 11th of the game, but only our 3rd here in the second half. In the game for Southern, Blake Bonham. Bonham, a 5'11 sophomore who is yet to score this year. So we may see a lot of different Eagles over the next 5 minutes. They lead 75 to 51. Into the front court, Adams with the basketball, hands it off to Whitaker. He'll get it in the corner to Mason Davis. Davis trapped in the paint, looking for help. Gets it back on the wing to Whitaker. Whitaker in the paint himself, has a shot put up no good, but a foul is going to be called on Craycraft. And if my figures are correct, that'll be 5 on Justin. Comes at the 4:45 mark. Craycraft with 6 points tonight, a couple of boards. But will take a seat with 4:45 left and his team trailing 75 to 51. Braxton Grubb back in the game. Whitaker at the line for the first time tonight on the year, 2 for 2. First free throw is good. Extends the Eagles' lead to 76 to 51. And Whitaker will have another. It's on the way, and this one will bounce in there as well. Good. 77 to 51 Eagle lead. They've led pretty much since this game started. We did have a couple of ties, and the lead changes very early on. Smiley with the basketball in the front court to Midden on the left side. Back up top to Smiley. Now to Harris in front of the stable. Elijah still has his dribble, and now takes it into the paint between a double team. Forces up a shot, no good, but he's fouled. And Elijah will be going to the line for a couple of free throws. Foul's going to be assessed to Adams. That'll be Landon Adams' first personal foul. We got 2 Adamses, so I better delineate between which one's which, as there's also a Zach Adams. Elijah Harris at the line. He is 4 for 6. First free throw's on the way and bounces out. Coming in the game for Southern for the first time, Braxton Arnett. Braxton Arnett, a 6'4 junior, making his first appearance of the season at varsity action. Southern about to go 5-1 on the season, as Harris's second free throw is on the way and very short, no good, and is going to be tapped out of bounds by the Eagles. So the Thoroughbreds will get the ball back. From his own baseline, Smiley will trigger the inbounds pass. Mason looking, lobs it to Wilson. Wilson between a triple team, makes the shot, and he's fouled. And Garrett has a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. Makes the score 77 to 53. Still got 4:20 left. Wilson is 1 for 2 from the line tonight. Makes the free throw. He now has 15 on the night. But his team trails 77 to 54. In the front court, shot put up, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Grubb. Grubb in the front court to Harris. Harris to the basket. His shot is going to be good, and he's fouled. And now Elijah, a chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way. 77 to 56 is your score now. Just shy of midway through the fourth quarter. Harris is now, with that made free throw, 5 for 9 in the game from the charity stripe. Harrison County now down by 20 at 77 to 57. With the basketball on the right side, Zach Adams. He'll get it up top to Arnett. Now here's a long three by Whitaker. No good. And Grubb skies for the rebound. He's got 8 rebounds on the night. With the basketball now going to the basket is Smiley. His shot's no good, but we're going to have a foul called on Madison Southern. It's going to be assessed to Zach Adams. That'll be Zach Adams' first personal foul. So Smiley to the line where he's 3 for 4, has 11 points, but 9 of those came in the second quarter. Just had a single bucket in that third. 3:39 mark of the fourth quarter. The first free throw's on the way and rattles off. Coming into the game will be LaRue for Harrison County. Stockyards Bank and Trust has competitive home equity loans and home equity lines of credit for you. Ask a lender to learn more. That's Stockyards Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Second free throw for the senior Smiley is good. He now has a dozen points on the night. And Harrison County back to within 19 at 77 to 58. 3.5 left. In the front court with the basketball for Southern on the left side, long range is Whitaker to get it to the right side to Landon Adams. Landon Adams now will get the ball into the hands of Colin Sebastian, who's in the game. His shot, nope, I take that back, it's number 13. That's Braxton Arnett. So Arnett going to the line for the first time this season. Looking for his first points of the year as well, and he is successful. So he makes that first free throw. 78 to 58. Second free throw is no good, and the rebound is pulled down by LaRue. In the front court come the Breds. Smiley down low, tries a pass to Grubb. It's going to get away from him, but Braxton goes and picks up the loose ball, goes to the basket, and lays it in. Nice tenacity that time by the senior. Gets his team back to within 78 to 60 with just 3 minutes left to go. Here's a long three, no good. Long rebound, comes all the way out to Landon Adams, and now we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by Madison Central. It's going to be just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Coach Wright still coaching the young team that he's got on the floor right now, and doesn't want to treat them any differently than he would if the varsity had made a mistake like that. So that's why he's such a good coach. Breds will be back in action on Tuesday when Bourbon County comes to town. Then we'll finish up our pre-Christmas schedule next Friday when we'll make a trip to Dry Ridge to take on the Grant County Braves. So a couple of tough tests for our Breds coming up next week. Then, of course, after Christmas, we will be involved in the White Maggard Greer, may not be in that order, but anyway, their orthodontics center is sponsoring the Lexington Catholic Holiday Tournament. So we'll see what we can do against some of the best teams in the state. All righty, out of the timeout, Harrison County with the basketball. Across timeline comes Smiley. Mason drifts to the right side near the far hash mark. Now into the paint, lobs the ball in the corner to Midden for a three-point try. Good! Knuplau three-pointer by Jack Midden gives him 5 points on the night. And Harrison County back to within a 13-point margin at 78 to 60, or actually 78 to 63. Can't read my own writing. Now a foul on Jay Sean Lewis. Be Jay Sean's first. From his own baseline to trigger the inbounds pass will be Zach Adams. Zach looking, gets the ball into the hands of Landon Adams, who spins near the goal but misses the shot. And Jay-Sean will come down with the rebound for Harrison County. In the front court with the basketball is Grubb. He'll have a half hook that's no good. Lewis, though, with the rebound. He'll dish it back out again where it's stolen away. Into the front court, going all the way to the basket is Landon Adams. He scores his first bucket of the night to make the score 80-63 with 1:58 left. With the basketball up top in the front court, Smiley, left side Midden for another three. Try this one a little bit long. Rebound, though, once again picked up by Jay-Sean. He has 5 rebounds. Mason Smiley with the tray. Canuck Law three-pointer, in fact. Gets his team back to within 80-66. Minute and a half left. With the basketball up top is Davis. To the left side, gets it into the hands of Whitaker. Whitaker into the paint, to the basket. Nobody cut him off. Easy bucket there for Michael Whitaker. Makes the score 82-66. 1:16 left. Now a floater is good by Smiley, and he's fouled. And Mason has a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Foul on Landon Adams. 17 points now for Mason. Coming into the game for Harrison, Landon Kinney, 6'1" sophomore, making his first appearance as a varsity player. 82-68. As Mason goes to the line to try the old-fashioned three. Mason is 5 for 7 from the line tonight. Free throw up and good. There we are. Also checking in for Harrison County, Blake Green, 6'1" sophomore, averaging a couple of points a game. 82-69. Across the timeline with the basketball comes Whitaker. Gets it in the hands on the right side to Davis. Davis between the circles has picked up his dribble. Guarded by Green, gets it over on the far side and into the hands that time of Arnett. Arnett back to Whitaker. Whitaker drives into the paint and almost lost it. Loose ball picked up by Landon Adams, who also dribbled it away, but they're going to say it was because Lewis tapped it away. 50 seconds to go. Harrison County, fortunately, with a strong fourth quarter, will make the final score look a lot better than the game actually was. With the basketball, Zach Adams drops it down to Landon Adams, whose shot's no good, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line for a couple with 40 seconds left. Foul's on Lewis. That'll be Jay-Sean's second. Landon Adams to the line for the first time this season. First free throw is good. He now has 3 points on the night. 83-69 with 40 seconds left. Second free throw is also good by the sophomore Landon Adams. 84-69 now. Across the timeline come the Thoroughbreds. Kinney to Green. Green now over on the far sideline. Hands it off to Midden. Midden in the paint, in the corner, finds Kinney for 3. Off the flange, no good. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Madison Southern. So Harrison will maintain possession with 20 seconds left, down by 15. Inbounds pass comes to LaRue. LaRue up top to Lewis. Lewis drives to the block. His shot's no good, but a foul is going to be called. And it's going to be called against Braxton Arnett. Be Arnett's first personal foul, sending Lewis to the line. This will be Jay-Sean's first free throw attempts of the season. Very quietly has picked up 6 rebounds here in the second half. First free throw's no good. They'll have another to try to get us to 70 with 14 seconds left. It's on the way, and this one is good. All right, Jay-Sean. 84-70 in the front court with the basketball. Will walk Whitaker. 6 seconds left. He'll just dribble out the clock. Final score as clock winds down to 0. Madison Southern 84. Harrison County 70. Thoroughbreds lose their 5th game in a row to drop to 2-5 on the year. Meanwhile, Madison Southern will gain some momentum or continue to grow momentum as they're now 5-1 and have won 4 games in a row. So a couple of programs going in opposite directions, unfortunately. We invite you to stay tuned now for our post-game show. We'll go over all the scoring and stats from this game, as well as have a chat with a member of the Harrison County coaching staff. We'll also name our Judy Construction Company Player of the Game. All that coming up after this timeout. But once again, here on the Hilltop, your final score, Madison Southern 84, Harrison County 70. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Basketball on WCYN.